One and a two and a long box punk. Long box punk. Long box punk. Long box punk.
And just like that, we're into another brand new live stream right here on the Longbox Punk. That's me. I'm Chris. I'm the punk, and I'm joined by Jason Strutz right over here. We are here to talk about Jason's second chapter Kickstarter campaign, which just launched today. And
Mhm.
you're already $5 away from hitting your minimum funding goal. You've got some really cool first day things that are thing that's happening with the bookmark sketches.
Yeah.
I saw a video of you doing one of those, and I was like, man, I wish I had all the money so I could back all the Kickstarters. Because I think that's super rad that you're doing that. So is that let's just dive, because we're live, so whatever. Why choose that as a thing for day one backers?
Well, I have the paper that I work on is a watercolor paper, and it's an 18 by 24. So I got to cut off a bunch of this watercolor paper.
Yeah.
And so I have these pads of strips like this long, so I can cut those into 3 and use up some of the paper without just tossing it out.
That's awesome. That's
It's
a great way.
I can use this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Use all the parts.
We were my collaborator and I were talking, because he does the Bristol board, and then once he trims it down to size, he was like, I'm gonna have a bunch of leftover stuff. What do we do with that? It's like, I don't know, we can do like cut them into little bits and do like tiny little sketch cards, or make mini covers or something on it. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that it's just utilizing all of the available things that you've got already for the book and turning it into a remarked bookmark. That's super rad.
Yeah, just a little something for people who jump in on the first day and are ready to go. But
That's awesome.
yeah, so I've got the paper, and I can draw zombies. And the best part is, like, you can't really draw a zombie wrong. So
Yeah.
you do what you feel like.
Yeah, I was reading, there was a book that I was reading about like drawing monsters and horror, and it said, take everything you know about anatomy and throw it out the window, and then start drawing monsters. And I just, like, that stuck with me of, you're right, anatomy doesn't have to matter when it's monsters. And when it's zombies, it's just like, oh yeah, that's just torn away flesh. So it's fine.
Yeah. I forgot to draw an arm on them.
Yeah, he's seen some. He probably got met with a weed whacker or something and just took it
Yeah.
off. So, so we're talking zombies because zombies play a part in your series Returned. For those that don't know, what is the story of Returned? Like, give me the pitch and the
Yeah. So Returned is a medieval horror family drama, as I've been calling it. And I can usually tell who's listening to my sales pitches when they get a confused look on their face. So medieval horror family drama. It's a story of Vale. She's behind me there. She's fighting an army of the dead in the beginning of the book. Right in part 1, jump right into kind of the end of the world. She's fighting an army of the dead, and unfortunately dies herself by about page 13. Not a big spoiler, because I gotta set something up for the book. So dead herself by about page 13, but there's still a bunch more book to go. So she spends some time as a bad zombie lady until her family finds her and ties her to a chair and helps her ghost re-inhabit her zombie body. And then they have to escape.
Right.
And then more stuff.
And then
so
development and monsters and more zombies.
Yeah, so that's like most of book 1, which is the Kickstarter I did back in March. So that one is 43 pages. The second part is like 40 pages, 42 pages.
Okay.
And the second part picks up with them escaping their hometown where they all found each other again. And Vale is able to help her partner Hel and Ragno, her son, escape the zombie onslaught.
It's awesome.
Being led by a mysterious figure, and lots of things being set up for the rest of the book.
Yeah. And I gotta say that like going, because those are all the perfect square bound format, being the longer pages, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So like that's my favorite format. I know I'm not alone, as Ian loves the longer issues. And as always, Gary, good to see you, my friend. Super reliable when Gary pops in. But like I love that with Kickstarter specifically. I love seeing that those page counts are higher than the traditional like 22, 24 page floppy.
Yeah.
Because then it's like I know I'm getting more bang for my buck if I back this campaign. And so I'm always more likely to, just as like me personally, this isn't a broad statement about everybody, but like me, I love the longer format stuff because I know that I'm going to get a complete story. It's difficult as an indie creator to churn out like Travis Gibb does, like we were just talking about, of doing 8, 9, 10, 14 Kickstarters a year, of like trying to get the same story released in a very quick schedule or quick time frame. So doing this chunkier books, I mean, like you say, you just did chapter 1 in March. Here we are in September. That's 4 months. Like that's insane for it to be a double length issue each time. Is that the plan for parts 3 and part 4?
Yeah, so part 3 is kind of equivalent size. Part 4, being the big finish, is a little bit shorter. I think low 30s on that issue. Altogether, about 155-page book, and everything's written. Scripts all written. The pages are all sketched out. Pretty much everything is lettered, other than my last minute edits and changes.
Yeah.
And now I'm just kind of going through all of the final art on it. So that helps keep the schedule, because I basically have everything planned. Yeah. So like what I think of as like the tough part, the storytelling, the every page is a puzzle aspect to it, is pretty much figured out.
Yeah, that's
so awesome. that helps. And then also put myself on a schedule to put out 2 pages a week. So this is something you can read for free online at returncomic.com. Both just as a way to read it, a place to send people who are interested in my work. Just makes it easier than trying to like put it behind a Patreon and get like $1 a person or something like that.
Yeah,
I'd rather have more eyeballs than I want single dollars.
Yeah.
So and then take that to Kickstarter to get that better book reading experience.
No,
it's a very long form comic, so it's not necessarily the most popular webcomic storytelling format, but gives people a chance to see it. They can see that it's done. Proof of life.
You're right.
It's continuing and getting done. And then take it to Kickstarter for people to get print books.
That's cool. Now, are you planning on collecting all 4 chapters into like a trade or like a hardback edition?
Yeah, I would definitely like to collect it all in a big book once we're done. And that looking at late next year for that.
Okay.
Still working on schedules and things like that, but thinking about October next year for running a big horror book Kickstarter.
Perfect.
Would be pretty great.
Yeah.
So and speaking of the shorter issues and people that are putting out repeated issues, I had to be convinced to do this part. I kept telling people I just wanted to drop one big book on Kickstarter and then be done and disappear.
Yeah.
And got lots of advice that marketing wise, it would be good to do some Kickstarters along the way. Be good to show people process. There are some people that just want individual installments, and they can follow that way, and then make a big book at the end with a bunch of extras and things like that. So
Yeah, there is
you know,
something to be said about that, like building the audience and
definitely. Yeah.
staying like when you with the running of multiple campaigns, you're staying relevant to the
Yeah.
social media algorithms,
Mhm.
to all that in quotes, because I don't actually think anybody knows how those work, but like it keeps you in front of people when you're
Yeah.
constantly putting out new material. And you've already it I was wondering because the first two chapters have like part one, part two, part three, part four. Like you get into, I think, part seven in the second chapter.
Yeah, like a chapters. Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, we finish in chapter 7 in part 2.
Okay.
So the chapters will keep going throughout each issue.
Yeah.
Picking up with chapter 8 in part 3.
Does that play into that self-scheduling of, working towards, I want to get this chapter done. Like I want to finish this
Mhm.
by end of next week.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Some putting chapters in there again was something probably I had to be convinced to do. People were like, this is a big book. It's a real big book. You should have chapters. I'm like, wow, you should just sit down and read the whole thing
Right.
in 2 hours. What do you need a chapter break for?
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good for scene breaks and things like that. Page counts of chapters are kind of all over the place. Chapter 7 is pretty long. I think chapter 6 was 5 or 6 pages.
Yeah.
So it's kind of where the story makes sense to break. So in terms of goalposts, it's not a huge concern.
Okay.
More of a storytelling thing.
Got it. Now, have you written like prose before that also utilized the chapter format?
So I haven't.
Okay.
I've written a bunch of small things. I've done a lot of 24-hour comic days. This started as a 24-hour comic day, but this really is my first big long form writing project.
Okay.
Because I wanted to have something that I originated and own, and that then frees me to put it out online and things like that, where I don't have to negotiate that with someone else, or certainly a publisher at this point.
Right.
So I wanted to have something that I owned myself. I had the concepts and outlines and things like that for something to do, and had done that 24-hour comic day 5 times, and,
Oh, wow.
and got 5 books out of it. 24-page books done in 24 hours. Like they're not like my finest art,
Sure.
but like at the end of my last one, I said, well, maybe I've done this. This is a crazy, dumb challenge. I've done it 5 times now, and I know the next one I walk into, I'm gonna be like, well, I can do this. I just have to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe my next challenge would be maybe I write and draw a whole book that I'm really proud of in a year. That would be nice.
Yeah.
So giving myself more time, but also aiming for kind of a higher bar on that.
Yeah.
And so did a lot of work writing books and screenwriting books and comic stuff, and trying to sort out how to bring a story together. Like it was always something I was scared of and didn't know how to do, and didn't know how to bring it, from like the sentence idea to chapters and parts and things like that. So building that story out was definitely a learning process.
Yeah, but and to your point too, like at some point you just got to do the thing, whether it's a 24-hour insane challenge, or it's something like setting out, hey, I'm gonna do this in a year. Like, have you stuck to that year?
Well, so that year, I was doing a lot of writing of script and learning stuff in 2019, because my daughter was going to be going to full-time school in 2020. She had been doing half-day school, so I had 3 hours or so.
Sure.
I've been home pretty much with her since she was born. So she was in half-day school kind of a little bit longer time because she was in a Montessori school.
Okay.
So she was finally going to full-time school in the school year 2019 to 2020.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, like back in 2019, I was like, I'm going to have this ready. I maybe started around March of 2020.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out.
Turns out.
As many things didn't work out for many people.
Yeah.
But like that did, allow me to, take a step back and I had already had an editor read through the story. So it gave me time to work with her and sort of refine that and, get it into the best state possible.
Yeah.
So after, the first year or so of COVID, I was like, okay, now I have to do something.
Right. Now that I've adjusted to not doing anything ever.
Yeah. Cut back a lot of freelance stuff and all that, and just trying to, keep my daughter online for school.
Yeah.
And keep everybody sane.
Yeah.
And then, it ended up with a full-time illustrator art director job for about a year and a half with a RPG game publisher. And so various bumps in the road.
Sure.
When that job ended, then I like didn't have a lot of things to jump right into, but I had this script. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had a book out for a while. I have done a couple graphic novels and small comic projects and things like that, but I hadn't had something out for maybe 8 years or so at that point.
Okay.
And wanted to have something that I could control the schedule on, and having a kid, your schedule is messed up all the time. And I was feeling bad because, if I worked with a team on something, if I work with a writer or something like that, and I have to stay up all night because my kid is sick, like not much is getting done the next day.
Right.
So then, I get the emails of like, hey, where's this thing? And so like, if I control my own schedule, I can account for all these unknowables.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you always, do you find that you prefer being the one-man show, or do you prefer, when schedules aren't super crazy, working with a team of people?
I mean, there's pluses and minuses to both. Certainly working with writers and I'm more of a one-person show as an artist than most anyway. And then I'll usually do my own coloring and do my own lettering. So it would usually be a writer and myself kind of doing the project.
Yeah.
So I've never done big team books, if only because I'm terrified I'm not leaving enough room for the letterer, and everybody's going to get mad at me and all that. So, but working with the writer is nice because you have that story down. It's solid. And when I'm got my head down doing art, they can be up because kind of their part of it for the moment is done, and they can be up and doing that promotion. And they can go to one show and you can go to the other show, and you've got double the marketing potential, at least. And so that part is nice, having that team behind you to take care of some of that extra stuff. But as far as being a one-person show, like that is freeing, and it's nice that like I own all of the parts of the book, and can design my Kickstarters and put it out online for free, because my goal is just I need people to see things. And that frees me up from having to negotiate that sort of stuff with another person. And then just the profit margins in comics are low. I don't know if anybody knows that.
It's crazy that's
profits are low.
true.
So if you can make all of the little money, then you're good.
Yeah. Instead of having to split it and count pennies with collaborators.
And there's pluses and minuses of that too. Like I would go to comic shows when I was working with a writer named Jeremy Whitley. We started working on comics together, and he's gone on to work at Marvel and doing graphic novels and all sorts of cool stuff there. But we would go to comic book shows and sell our comic, and he would make half of the comic,
Mhm.
and I would make the other half of the comic, but I would also sell commissions and things like that. So a little imbalance in that
Yeah.
way, where like we're splitting this table, but you're only making $2 a comic, and I can draw things all day and
Yeah. And
take
how, like,
home more, and it seemed less fair.
how do you not just draw things all day? Like if I could put together the crazy detailed and just like super your book is full of art that literally like feels like I have to catch my breath reading it, because it just the pacing of it is like white knuckle.
Mhm.
Like, how do you not just draw stuff all day and
I
just
mean,
like
to do
constant?
so, yeah, pretty much am. But I'll do other things for money, graphic design and things like that. Um, so some freelance jobs around that, but yeah, pretty much I'm working on drawings uh, wherever I am. So I have a
Yeah.
drawing table over here, and so I do all the work physically on paper, all the black and white work, ink wash, and then I scan that in and do the color digitally. So when I'm at home, I'll work on the table here on physical pages,
Mhm.
and then I take my iPad out to tonight. After this, I'm going to a drawing studio night event that
Oh,
I
cool.
do every Monday at a bar. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan,
That's awesome.
and go hang out there for 4 hours, and I'll do page coloring there. So I'm able to work everywhere,
Yeah.
uh, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But
Is
yeah,
it
yeah, like I
also
said,
like a double-edged sword?
oh
Like to
yeah,
know
totally,
when, like you
absolutely, yeah,
can like, I should be drawing right now and I could be, but like I just can't or don't want like I
yeah,
would
yeah.
imagine that that would just be as much as I would love to be able to just draw all the things all the time. I
Mhm.
also would have that like, oh, I'm hyperfixating and I'm only drawing things all the time and I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah. So it helps to have a family, and I cook all the meals and things like that, and drive everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
So I am forced to move around a little bit. I could definitely see that being a problem if I was here on my own.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm just gonna eat something out of a bowl while I continue to draw.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, as far as like extra things to draw, I don't have a lot of extra other things that I draw a lot other than working on comics. It is usually enough to take care of my day.
Right.
But
No,
there are
is
definitely like movies and TV shows that are like, well, this is a drawing show and this is
mm,
not a drawing show. Like I
I
could go watch TV with my wife and color while I'm watching, something that I can mostly listen to.
yeah.
If it's the worst is like a foreign language film of like, well, I cannot draw during this, and that's fine, but that's a non-drawing time movie.
Yep. Yeah.
So you
What are
gotta
some of
figure
your
that
like
out.
go-to background TV shows? Because I know what my wife and I's are, and I'm always
Mhm.
curious when other people follow the same things that we do. It's like, oh, just put it on. And like we'll talk about our day and like check our phones and whatever, play with the dog.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like we still know what's happening on the show. Like
Mhm,
what
mhm.
are some of your drawing shows that you will put on?
It depends on what's going on. We don't usually go back to rewatch things.
Okay.
So if it's something more like an office,
Mhm.
like The Office, you could just sit there and mostly listen to that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think that I didn't give full credit to Severance season 2 because I was doing some drawing while watching some Severance, and that
Yeah.
was less effective.
Mm.
Like, well, I would look up and be like, "Well, what happened? What happened there?" Uh, but at least with Severance, nobody else knows what's happening either. So you'd be like, "Oh, I looked up and there's a goat," and then my wife who's watching the whole thing is like, "Whoa, there's a goat." So
Yeah.
it feels the same.
Yeah. Yeah, why is there a goat? I don't know either. I have no idea why
Got,
there's a
got
goat.
nothing.
Now, being in Grand Rapids, do you know Paul Pete or Paul Pate?
Yes, yeah, Paul Pate. Yeah, I know Paul Pate.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
Yeah, he has we go to the same comic book shop called Comic Signal in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And he the shop stocks both of our books and
That's cool.
is very nice, and actually taught Paul's daughter at a kids comic storytelling camp
That's cool.
that I run as well. Usually like an after work thing for adults or a week long thing for kids in the summer.
That's
And
so clutch. Like I was,
yeah,
we've got a con coming up that I'm one of the I'm the MC for, and I was talking to the guy that runs the whole thing, and he was talking about doing some sort of like comic for kids, summer camp or workshop or thing where it's just like 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, whatever.
yeah,
Like, so you said you run that. How did you
yeah.
start? How did you start doing all of that stuff?
Well, it came out of learning all this stuff for this book. I know that I was scared of telling my own stories and not knowing how to start that process.
Yeah.
So after going through a lot of this learning process to kind of get where I am now, I said, well, there's other things that I can do with this. I'm going to work on this book, and then we'll be working on the book for a couple of years. But perhaps I can relieve some of that anxiety from other people of like, oh, you got a story. Let's figure out how to make that a thing.
Yeah.
Let's take that from your sentence or wherever you are in your outline and start building that out into a full story.
That's awesome.
So in the class that I run, it's mostly based around that storytelling idea. It's less about like teaching someone to draw, because I want to, especially with kids, meet them where they are.
Yep.
I'm not there to make anybody feel bad.
Yeah.
And then I run that class in the comic book shop, in the Comic Signal, so I can point them around the whole shop and be like, you can draw however you want. You can tell any story drawing however you want. It doesn't matter. But what you need to know is like how to tell a story, and then how to tell that story visually. So it's less about like how's hard to draw a hand. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I'll help you, but like we don't have a day on hands.
Yeah,
we have a day on like how panels work, and my first day is usually kind of a magic trick day where I have this book. It's like a story generator book, and it's got like 3 different sections. So it's got like a subject and a location and an action kind of thing. And I just have kids turn randomly to different pages, and we come up with a ridiculous premise, and then spend like 40 minutes getting a 3-act story out of this absurd idea.
That's awesome.
With like what I want them to take away from that is, well, this randomly happened. This random idea that we came up with from this book, we were able to take that and make it into a full story.
Yeah.
Like, surely if we can do it with this dumb thing, you can do it with something you care about.
Yeah.
And I've since done that at a comic book convention as a panel, and that went really well also. So like we're trying to build, taking suggestions and just kind of writing things down until we get a beginning, middle, and an end out of this ridiculous story about the mob that lives in the sewer.
I love that that's how you approach it, is based on story, because it does, like, there's a lot of baggage that I have from being a kid and being in art class and seeing other kids draw better than I do or paint better than I or whatever. And like seeing that reflected from even other students of like, oh yeah, well, everybody knows Jake Four is the best drawer class in 8th grade art. Like everybody knows that. And so it was just like, oh, well, if I'm not going to be as good as Jake Four, like, yeah. And it honestly wasn't until like this past year that, again, the guy I made a comic book with was like, dude, you've got a style. Stop trying to make it to do or be something else. Like just lean into your thing. Like that's how absolutely. Your art looks. Like I see it and I like it. You should see it and like it too. And I was like, Oh.
And there's always refinements, and you get better at doing your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point, it if you're trying to be something else, you're fighting an uphill battle.
Yep. Yeah, it just like I don't know why it took me 39 years to figure that out, but it did. And once I did, I was
Mhm.
like, I'm just gonna have fun doing what I do. Yeah, like, yeah, you're right.
And
It was so
people come to
freeing.
that at different times. Your best artist in high school, uh, if they feel like they've been the best artist, but now they have to build a career,
Yeah,
that can be difficult
yeah,
to make that sort of transition. So coming to it, at a what might be a more mature age is not the worst thing
right.
in the world.
Right. Yeah. So coming into it, like teaching the basics and fundamentals of storytelling, like, do
Yeah.
you focus, like, do you reference other comics to help teach that? Or
Mhm.
do you reference all sorts of different like movies and all the media?
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of comics, but also looking at screenwriting. It's kind of,
Okay.
I feel, the closest thing,
Yeah.
and there are probably way more books about screenwriting than there are about comic writing. But similarities in that, like when you're writing a script, you can't hear things. You have to describe where everything is happening.
Yep.
Uh, and later in the movie making process, other people will decide what your sets look like. But like as a script writer, you're still going to write down where this action is taking place, and you're going to write down sound effects and shots and how that moves through time in a film. It moves through the page in a comic.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of similarities. There's definitely differences as well. My go-to example in class is usually like how many pages does it take to show someone blinking?
Mm,
And like that's half a second in a movie, but there are tricks you could do. You
yeah.
could just show an open eye and write the word blink next to it. But like you probably should have a couple panels, at
Yeah.
least 3 panels to show all the actions of a blink, and that's a third of a page. That's a lot of real estate on a page.
Yeah.
We got to think about those differences as well.
That's awesome. That is so like what so do you only ever then focus on like the process of story and pacing for comics? Like, do you go into like script writing or thumbnailing or any of that stuff?
Yeah. So we go through script writing, um, and have the kids do some homework if they can or want to.
Yeah.
I only control that so much.
Right.
But we go through script writing, and the goal is at the end of that to have like a 4 to 5 page little story.
That's cool.
So that's something that we build in the class, and also do some work at home, because as you know, a lot of the comic process is just time.
Yeah.
Time to sit down and write, time to sit down and draw. And if I had to account for all the time that they maybe should be working on a book, we'd be there all day.
Right.
They would
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be
get
a,
this out of the story.
40-hour week of just
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. Do you like
So
do
yeah, I
you
wanted to take
find
that and help other people get past that
yeah.
hurdle that I had.
Yeah, that's the best way to like help a community of creatives too, is like turning back to lean the hand of like, hey, I know these things. I already figured it out. Like come get up here with me and let me help you. Do you have, is it primarily just kids that do the class? Like do
I've done both kids and adult classes, um, and yeah, both are pretty exciting because everyone, as working on your style and working on the way that you draw and being happy with that and refining that. Like
Yeah.
everyone is still coming from a different place.
Yeah.
So it's still meeting them where they are, whether they're 45 or 12.
Yeah. Man, I love that. Like I'm gonna chew on this the rest of the night of just like how can I partner with a local shop or something and maybe
Yeah,
try something
absolutely.
similar.
Yeah.
'Cause I I love working with kids anyway. Like
Mhm.
one of my 9 college majors was education because I
Okay. Yeah.
wanted
Great.
to go in and, teach science and English and like because I love science and I love English, I love writing, I love reading. And so it just was like, yeah, those are the two that feels natural. And it just
Mhm.
like it a lot of things happened and I just switched majors again. But I still love like I find ways of teaching other people at every job that I've had since. Like
Yeah.
I become the person that people are like, "Hey, new hire, go see Chris because he will teach
Mhm.
you on XYZ whatever." Like, "Oh, let me teach you how to run a camera for this church production because like I have a background in media. So like let me
Sure.
show you that stuff." So I talking about
Yeah, and
comics.
that's a fun place to be. That's a good place to be, and I'm assuming you enjoy like
Yeah.
having that knowledge and being able to help people
Yeah,
because
cuz
then
it's like I don't know
they can go
what
off and do their own thing,
that part. Yep.
and uh, come back with something that you couldn't have done,
Yeah.
but you got them a little bit down that road, which
Yeah.
is was always nice to see.
Yeah, that was another thing that took me a long time to learn was like I don't have to be the final answer for all of the things. Like I don't have to get you to wherever you're trying to get. I just get to be a part of whatever that journey looks like for you. So if I'm the first voice of 17 that you're going to talk to, awesome.
Mhm.
If I'm voice 16 of 17, also awesome. Like it's seeing that like I don't have to be everything for everybody in their journey of whatever is super freeing and being able to just share stuff that I've know because talking to creators twice a month for a year and a half, I've
Yeah.
kind of learned a lot actually. And I love talking about it because it just I'm interested in it, so it's a natural fit. And I'm like Tony Stark. And for those that watch the show regularly, they're like, okay, here he goes again. But I like the scene in Iron Man where he blows up the reactor thing and he's like
Mhm.
examining each little tiny piece and throwing some
Yeah.
things out. I love doing that. Like that
Mhm.
thing of like blowing up a process to examine how all of it works and fits together. That's how my brain wants to operate all the time. And so sometimes when my wife is like, I just need to talk about the issue, like I don't need you to fix and examine and over like I don't need
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You can't give me a problem and then tell me
Yeah.
not to fix it, not to try to fix it.
Yeah. So now we just, have an understanding of like, I
Yeah,
just need
yeah.
to talk about it. I'm like, perfect. Okay.
Do you what do you want? What would you like from this? Do you
Yeah.
want help? Do you want to just talk about it?
Yeah. Can we
It's a
just,
very important
it is,
important thing.
it is. I'm glad we figured it out after 8 years. And then the past 3 years of marriage have been way easier. Um, but it's like, speaking of teaching comics and teaching storytelling as a kid, like, did you have similar experiences or like, what was your origin story of getting into and then creating comic books and artwork?
Yeah, yeah. So as a kid, I was always drawing. Uh, so that has kind of been a constant forever. There was some there's something in kindergarten where they wanted you to draw a face,
Mm,
and I don't remember this, but my mother tells me about this. And they wanted you to draw a face, and there was some they were measuring something. They're just like draw all the things that are on a face, and like they're looking for eyes in the right place, and nose in the right place, and a mouth in the right place. Probably looking for this is back in the 80s, so who knows? But like looking for some sort of developmental issues or things
yeah.
like that. But um, they would kind of score you on the amount of things that you put on this face, and I was drawing individual eyebrow hairs and things like that. So uh, that has kind of always been a uh, drawing has always been a part of who I am,
Mm,
and it's mostly been a 44-year process of figuring out how to make that into something, how to make that work,
yeah.
um, and that comes in a variety of ways. So I worked for 10, 12 years doing signs in sign shops. I'm doing 5 or 6 graphic design jobs a day. And there's probably 40 some landscaping logos in Rochester, New York, and in Raleigh, North Carolina that I've designed.
That's awesome.
Because there's endless landscaping people.
Yep.
So that job was great because it was quick turnover and get it done, and then I would do all the production on the signs, and eventually had to hang off buildings sometimes to put them up.
Yeah.
My least favorite part of the job. But that was still an artistic job. I do freelance, I do graphic design, I do comics and RPG illustration, drawing monsters and things like that. So it's just been a process of figuring out how to make that work, and pretty much how to make that work at the moment. Like whatever kind of comes along is sort of what comes next.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really like the life of the freelancer, right? Is sometimes I hear it is like a deluge of work. And then other times it's like, well, it's a good thing I just had 7 projects that finished all on the same day. Cause
I
gotta.
It's the freelancer crunch, I call it.
Yeah.
Where like you can make all your best efforts to, you have to be continually reaching out to new stuff, talking to new people, thinking about new projects. And inevitably you'll put out all these lines into the water, and then they all start jumping at the same time. And I'm like, either I got to make a choice here, or I just have to buckle down and do all these things at once. Yeah. Knowing that in a month, I'm not going to have anything to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because all of them just snapped at the same time. So now,
and again, having my own book to work on, that definitely fills in those gaps. To the point where I take on less of that freelance stuff. But that definitely fills in, like, well, what do I do today? Well, I'm a little more than half done with the book. I need to do more book.
Yeah.
So that is the freelance crunch. It really kind of comes all together and then stretches back out, and time's very elastic there.
Yeah. Now, I imagine, and this is maybe me reading too much into things, but as a freelancer and constantly reaching out to try and find new leads and setting out all the lines and stuff, when it came to selling and pitching your book to potential readers, is there an overlap of the same skill set that you were using, or is it different when it's a comic versus a service that you're trying to sell yourself by doing?
So it definitely is different. Marketing is another thing to learn, and another thing that's always changing. But marketing is just another thing to figure out. So I had definitely done marketing for books that I've done in the past, but as a comic freelancer, you'd run into that problem where, like, I've done a book, I got paid a page rate for that book, and that is the only money I'm going to see from this book, most likely forever. Yeah. So the amount of marketing that I'm going to do for that, I'm going to do some because I'm nice and I want the people I work for to be happy with my work. Yeah. But I can't do a full court press of marketing because I have to get on to the next thing to get the page rate for that stuff. Yeah. So the sustained marketing is definitely a new thing with the Kickstarters. We talked a little bit before the show about the mid Kickstarter, dead water that you're just kind of floating in for a little while, where as much work as you want to do is probably not going to make a big difference. Yeah, you can do all the things that you want to try, but it may not actually make a difference at that point.
Right. Save the best post, save the most engaging, video or visual, and it still
you keep doing it, but knowing that there's this middle part that's a little doldrumy. Yeah. Yeah. And feel like the guy's out at sea and there's no wind.
Luckily, I mean, you're $5 away from minimum funding, and you just launched it. Like 8, 7, almost 8 hours ago?
10 o'clock this morning.
Okay. Yeah, like
So yeah, I'm
that's wild. That's
totally
the best
totally
way to do it.
happy there. And my funding goal is low, but it is a number that I made up, um, where it's only me, so I don't have to pay someone else a set amount of money.
Yeah.
And the work, you can see the work on the website. So the work is done. The Kickstarters are like, how many books do you want me to print?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's a good number? I don't like what. And so looked at kind of the minimum print runs that going through the printer that I'm using. What's the minimum print run?
Yeah.
How much is that going to cost? So that's where I'm getting that like $800 from, because that would print me 25 books.
Yeah.
And certainly with like the first Kickstarter that I ran in March, I had no idea. I don't know what people are going to come through with. But ended up having to print like 100 and some books for that.
That's awesome.
To fulfill that. Super happy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's kind of a nominal number. Really compared to some other Kickstarters too, but I more want to like get past that funding goal.
Yeah.
I don't need that anxiety of like, well, maybe I'll get money or maybe I won't. Like, I'm going to set it low. I'm going to clear that hurdle, and then I can spend the rest of the month like being chill about it.
Yep.
So when that middle hits, I'm not sweating.
Yeah, you don't have to just sit with the like constantly refreshing the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only been today, and I'll chill out for a little bit after today.
Right. After today. Yeah. Get through the first 24 hours and then breathe again. Because I see that conversation a lot of like, how do you set your goal for funding? And it feels like even with comic scripting of like everybody has what works for them, and every single one of them are different. And some are based like, well, what's it going to cost for just the basic print run? Some are like, well, I got to pay the artist and I got to pay for this, but I also want to do this and add that, and then taxes and fees and shipping. And like, how do you include that at the time? Do you do that after the fact? Like everybody's approach is different.
Yeah, there's different economics for the different Kickstarters. You do an anthology, you got to hopefully pay 30 people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of math to do, and you have to clear that hurdle.
Yeah.
And that makes total sense to me.
Yep. And that's why I like backing anthologies, because I might know one creative team and be introduced to 17 other creative teams that are in the book, and of those 17, like maybe 15 of them are knockout home runs for me and are doing exactly what I want to see in comics, and then I have 15 new creative teams to find and follow and support. I love anthologies just for that reason, and that's one of the things that for me has changed. Because I used to just be like, give me a long form, like give me 100-page story. Again, back to the square, perfect bound. Like just give me a 90-page story, in and out. I'm done. I can sit and read it and crank through it while my wife is making dinner or whatever. And cool. I read the story and it's done. And that's nice. And now I'm like, nah, give me like a 130 pages with 15 stories and 7 one pages, and like give me all the weird stuff that's short. And because it turns out, I was told early on by a friend of mine that's an editor for a comic publisher. He was like, if you like, I know you've got stories and I know you want to do like tell stories that are in your head, because we've talked about it. Start small, like just don't try and do the sagas or the Walking Deads that have 500 issues. Start small, like do a 4 to 6 page comic and then go from there. I was like, oh, keep it easy on myself, I get it. And then I sat down to do it and I was like, oh my god, this is really hard. Like this is so difficult to do.
It's a different puzzle to solve, but that is also the advice that I give lots of people. Yeah, I see too many people come up and are interested in making comics, and I'm like, well, what are you thinking of? And they're like, well, it's about 150 issues, and I'm like, no,
it's too much.
Keep it in your back pocket. It could be a great idea. Get yourself a little further down the road.
Yeah,
and I think, especially as an artist, it's happening with me, where Like you can start on a longer work, and if you're learning, you're always learning. But if you're beginning,
Yeah.
And you're going to make a 22-page book, you're going to be so much better by page 10 than you were at page 1.
Yep.
And you're going to be so much better than that at page 20 than you were at page 10. And you're going to look back at the beginning of this book and be like, I can't release that. And then you're going to go back and try to redo it again. And it's just an endless cycle where you're learning, but you're doing the same book over and over again until you think it's right.
Right.
And that's kind of the trap of the longer form early work, where like you're beholden to the stuff that you did when you were just learning, and like that's difficult to keep up.
Yep. I love the advice that's given that I see frequently online for like, if you're a brand new creator, but you don't feel like you're ready yet because you haven't figured everything out. Guess what? No one else has either. So just make the thing, write the story, make the draw, create the art, do the painting, do whatever. Just make it first and then make it good later. Like you got to start somewhere. Know that it's probably not going to be your best work. And that's totally fine because no one creates their best work first, because you got to figure out a lot of times, especially with writing for comics, like that's a completely different skill set. I mean, I took 6 years of English classes and writing and reading and studying literature and all of these things. And I was like, oh, I have writing figured out. And I went to write comics and I was like, oh, I have to learn how to do this. Like, this is a completely different thing. And I understand, like, I went through it myself I've been reading comics for my entire life. Right. Well, minus the times that I couldn't read. I picked up a comic first when I was like 5. So I got 34 years of reading comics, and I have 6 years of college writing and all of this stuff. And I've always been a storyteller. And so I can do this thing. And then I sat down, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I don't know where to start. Yeah. I don't know how to format the script. And then I tried to read and learn that. And it's like, oh, everybody does it differently.
Yeah, there's no real format, but you can pick one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, here's 17 options. Choose any of them or make up your own based on parts of the 17, whatever. Like, it's all comic scripting.
As long as you're consistent, you're pretty good.
Right. And but like you have to be able to learn through doing, or at least I do. I was always better in lab than lecture, because like I learn by doing. And so like, let me write the script, realize it's terrible, and then be like, okay, cool, I got it on my system. I figured out how the formatting works. Now let me do the next
in front of you. My usual metaphor is when you're starting writing, you need to have a sculptor needs to have clay to work with. Yeah. So like a sculptor doesn't sit down at an empty desk. They're going to plop a big mound of clay in front of them, depending on how you sculpt, et cetera, et cetera. But they're going to put a big mound of clay in front of them and say, oh, well, I can make something out of this blob. They don't sit down with nothing and then like pick a little piece of clay and put it in a place. No, they're going to take this, they're going to mush it. They're going to like grab a chunk and toss it over their shoulder. They don't need it, but you need to have something to work with. You need to have that pile of stuff to be like, well, this is good and this isn't good and that's good. Toss that out.
Yep. Oh,
I'm going to bring something else back. Like, you need to have stuff in front of you to look at to even say, what is good and bad.
Yeah.
Because in your head while you're working on it, you might feel like it makes sense and is comprehensible, but it isn't.
Right.
Once you have to write it down, it has to be a thing first, and then it's easy to get disappointed in a concrete thing, in that writing that's in front of you or that art that's in front of you. It's easy to get disappointed because in your head it was like all of these things. But it's actually impossible for that work to be all of those things. It has to be one thing that actually exists.
Yep. Yeah, that's
getting it out first. Good.
Yeah, the working with clay thing is so succinct. Like it's clear that you have taught this before, because that makes so much sense. Because my sister, like for a bit, dabbled in working with clay and sculpting and stuff. And so she had her studio thing set up in my mom's basement, and I would go down there just to see what she was doing. And there was just clay everywhere. Like it was just a mess. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I've almost got it figured out. Like I've been working on this for like 3 hours and I'm just now getting to where I like it. And I was like, okay, I will just go leave you alone then.
Yeah. Best to leave them alone. But
yeah,
they have that process of figuring out what you like and what you don't.
That's great. So so you're still posting pages to returncomic.com?
Yeah, so how I've been running it is each part I'll post 2 pages a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, for each part, and then at the end of that part, take the next month off and run the Kickstarter, and then go back to posting once the Kickstarter is done. So running each part twice a week, and then doing the Kickstarter at the end of each section there.
That's cool.
And I was kind of make that decision as far as like how far along I am. By the time, in this case, October hits, and see if I'm comfortable starting. But that is the general plan, is just kind of keep it rolling, cool. So I don't drop out of visibility and
all the things.
That. And also for me, like if I have the fear that if I take off too much time, I'm gonna find other jobs to do or something, and something's gonna get in the way.
Yep.
And I think for me, it's probably better to just start and make myself do it.
Yeah.
Like,
that just
everybody else out there, it's not a real danger, but like I know that things can come up.
Yeah, it does get to that point of, and like just today we've been talking about painting the light pole in front of our house for like 3 years now. And today we were both sitting on the couch and she was like, do you want to paint that light pole? I was like, not really, but let's just do it. Like if we just do it, we don't have to keep talking about doing it, and I don't have to keep putting it off. It took us, we had to wait for the paint to dry, but do a second coat because we were just spray painting it because spray paint's easier. And I have more experience with spray paint doing totally legal things with it. And so we went out and we spray painted the light pole, and we sat and talked and played with the dog for a bit, and then spray painted the rest of it, put everything back together. And it was like, it took us like an hour, and we've been putting this off for 3 years. That's stupid. Sometimes you just gotta there's a panel that I have saved in my camera roll of like motivational things, and it's from a Fantastic Four comic, and it's Dr. Doom, and he's like pushing somebody aside, and he's like, out of the way, fool, enough talking, it's time for action. And I just keep it because I'm like, he's right. Like at some point you can't do unless you stop talking and start doing. And so sometimes I just need that kick in the pants from Dr. Doom.
He's a good guy to kick you in the pants.
Yeah. And he'll definitely do it happily too. So there's that as well. I'm checking. Oh, one thing that I just wanted to call out that I loved about the first part of Returned is the way you did the mother spirit returning to her, like the glowing blue, like it's what a cool
I know you described the first part as bonkers bananas, I believe.
Yeah.
And then referenced like a change in perspective, and I was curious if that was the thought.
That's the one
with that.
Yep.
And it's kind of my it's a real comics nerdy thing where it took a while to figure out like what is this soul, what is this spirit of this main character going to look like, because as she gets turned into a zombie, and part of the zombie process in this book is that your soul is kicked out of your body, but it's still attached, and you can see you're following your body around as it's doing terrible things. And most people that experience this kind of give up after a little bit of like, well, I mean, there's nothing I can do, and kind of give into that sort of apathy. And the main character Vale is just about there as well when she when her family finds her, But I knew I needed to, visually represent this spirit, as it's, important to have her perspective on what's going on. And took me a while to figure out like what would that look like. And then looking back at like my thumbnails and things like that, like the most basic aspect of this comic character is like the skeleton that you draw when you're doing your layouts. Like what's the most basic part of a comic character is that like stick figure that you're drawing when you're just planning out a page. So that's my highfalutin comics idea of that's what what a spirit of a comic book character would look like. And so that led to a couple fun little meta moments where like the spirit never knows that they're in a comic book, but they might be like looking at a different panel, and they're looking around and be like, what's happening? I don't go, it's not crazy meta, but like there's some fun stuff in there where the spirit is like attached to the body but sort of detached from true comic storytelling sometimes.
I love that you play with that like meta awareness like you did, because it's very fun, and it's one of the things that like to me that doesn't work in any other medium. It had like that only can be pulled off well in comics. And like, so reading it, and once I saw that start, I was like, oh man, this is so much fun. Like I hadn't thought about using like a stick figure for thumbnails as the purest form of a character. Like that only makes it even cooler, because it like it's a comic, and you start with the rough thumbnails and the sketches, and that's how the characters get built. And so like, man, those are the reasons that people just need to be in on Returned, on the campaign. It's live right now. We do another live check-in, see if anybody happened to hop over. Oh, hey, you're past goal, my friend.
Yes. Yeah,
picked up the backer that you needed to get past goal, so you were through
840, we're past goal. Thank you.
The anxiety, which is awesome. And now you just get to hang out and have fun with the campaign and plan some stretch goals. And do all of the things and all of the stuff. Where can people find you on social media?
So you can find me pretty much on all social media with the tag Strutz Art, STRUTZART. It's good to have a unique last name.
It sure is.
It's calmed down now, but there was a period where I was signing up for new social media like every week. And the new ones were popping up because I gotta grab the name. So it's all at Strutz Art, so you can find me on pretty much everything. And then you can find the comic at returnedcomic.com. That would has the whole comic book on there up till the end of part 2. You can read through it that way, see how you like it, and then you can follow all the links and banner ads I have around the page over to the Kickstarter and jump in on getting issue 2. But I also have issue 1 as an add-on. Good $15 price point on that, shipping with the print part 2. So if you weren't on that first Kickstarter, you can jump in on this one. That's going to be the case with all the Kickstarters coming up, where you'll always be able to get those back issues and start the story at wherever you happen to find me. So it's an always growing project. So different people are going to find me different places, and always want to have that available for
That's
people
awesome.
to find.
I've also got the link for the campaign in the description below. So you're really just 2 taps away from getting there. I'll add the returnedcomic.com as well. I wasn't sure if you still had the free pages up with the campaign running, but I love that you do, because it's like that's living and not just saying like I want people to read it. Like you're still actively giving away the story as you're running a campaign that's fully funded for that same story to then get into print, to get into people's hands. Like I think that's great. So yeah, I'll update that so that by the time, if you're watching after the fact, you'll be able to go to returncomic.com in this description below, and you can find that, and it'll be super easy. And I think anybody that tastes it is going to want to just consume the entire thing like I did, because it's such a fun comic. I think it's a really unique approach, and I'm super into it.
Yeah, and it is, as a Kickstarter, it is mostly based around, I made a book, buy a book. But within that thing, I don't have a lot of extra patches and stickers and things like that yet. Saving most of that for a big book extravaganza at the end.
Yeah.
When I'm not also trying to produce a book.
Yeah.
But there's PDF copies. You can get PDF copies. There's the print copy. So this is the color edition. It's kind of the main book, but then there's also I've been doing artist editions, which is all the black and white art, lettered and able to be read there. Because I was getting a lot of comments from people who would look at the portfolio I take around to shows and be like, oh, I really like this black and white art. And I'm like, well, I'm coloring it too, and they'd be like, oh, okay. And I would show them the color, and they're like, oh yeah, it's really good color. But I wanted to give people the option to pick up just the black and white art if they wanted to and read it that way. We got, since I'm doing it on paper, we got original art tiers as well. This was a cover that I did for for San Diego Comic-Con, which I went to for the first time a month and a half ago.
That's awesome.
So we got a bunch of the covers. All the pages are up. And then, if you find me on social media, on YouTube especially, I have time lapses of pretty much all of the pages done. So you can sit there and watch me make all the art as well.
That's cool.
It's another good keeping me working strategy. It's like, well, I've turned on the camera and the camera is going, so I have to do the thing.
I have to keep going.
Otherwise, I have to stop the camera, and that's no fun.
Right.
That's admitting defeat.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I love that you're doing the black and white as well. Like I love seeing, I'm a process junkie, and so I like seeing black and white and then color, and like I'm the person that gets stuck in the Instagram Reels circles of, like, I'll watch one person do a time-lapse video of creating a commission or something, and then I'll close that one, and then Instagram learns, like, oh, you want to see that? Here's another one. And then here's another one. And suddenly that's my whole feed. And I watch every single one of them because I love seeing art come to life on the page. So knowing now that you have those on YouTube, I'm going to go just binge a lot of those and watch the return come to life.
I have a couple to edit still, but there's probably at least 75 of them up there. So
that'll keep me busy.
75 3 to 4 minute videos. You got some watching you can do.
Yeah. Well, Jason, that's the end of my official notes, but I do have 2 more things I want to do. The first one is super easy. We're going to pose. I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'm going to use that as the YouTube thumbnail, mainly because this makes my life easier. And we get to pose about stuff. So you're over here, so I want to make sure I'm facing you. And we're going to pose in 3, 2, 1. Cool. And then see, it's just a fun thing to do. I like doing those, and no one complains about them, but I always feel like I have to justify it because I love doing them.
Remember which way to look. The screen is different.
Yeah. The other thing, this is what I warned you about before we came on live, was I love doing this show because I talk to people with all different walks of life, different experiences, different backgrounds, and yet we all have the same love of comic books. And so I love giving the opportunity for everybody that comes on the show to just share any message you want people to hear directly from you. It could be a sales pitch to go back the fully funded campaign for the returned chapters 1 or parts 1 and 2. It could be something completely different. The content to me doesn't matter at all. It's just a fact of, I want you to have some space to share what you want people to hear from you. So I'll stop fumbling and hand it over.
Well, I think we've done a fair job of the selling of the book, but mostly I just want to use that as kind of a demonstration that, like, this is a learnable thing. I wouldn't have called myself necessarily a writer before I started working on this book. But most skills are a learnable skill. So if this is something that you're interested in doing comics, or interested in any type of storytelling or creative pursuit, like this is always something that you can start right now. There's maybe you're at work and you can't start it right now, but it's something that you can do when you get home. It's something you can start thinking about. It's something you can start reading about. There's resources out there, and you can be telling your own stories. And especially in comics, it is a very open and free medium. And it is something, in my case, that I can do all on my own. I can write a book, I can draw a book, I can get a book printed. And like scope wise, returned, like that would be, so many millions of dollars to make a movie out of it. Or like I could write a script for it and it would probably never be made. And maybe I get paid for it and that'd be nice, but it might never be made. Comics, you can write a script, draw a script, and you can have a book. There's very little that's stopping you in creating your own stories, if that's something that you'd like to do.
I love it. That's the perfect message. Because I love hearing it, and I also like lived through it of, you know what, I can do this thing, and I'm just gonna read some stuff and watch some videos and do the thing. Like that's I need to do that to get the story out. So I love that that came up organically from you, and like it's super clear that you love talking about and the process and teaching it, and I love that you're doing that in Grand Rapids. If I find myself in that area, if I'm go to a Red Wings game or something, because I'm a big hockey guy and I'm just fussing about in Michigan, I might hit you up so we can go to the comic shop and just
sounds great.
Talk comics. Jason, thanks so much for hanging out with me. This is a super great talk.
Yes, thank you.
I know that if I don't keep myself on my own schedule, we're going to talk for 4 more hours, and I don't want to keep you from making more art. So hang tight, though. I got logistics for you after I end it. But for everybody else, thanks for tuning in, for watching, for sounding off in the comments. Gary, Ian, thank you so much. It's always great to see you both here.
Thank you. Yeah.
And just if you're listening to it and you like this or you got something out of it, share it with somebody. Tell a friend, do the things, subscribe, and do all the YouTuber stuff, because I don't care about any of it. This is for me, and this was a great this is exactly why I like doing the show, because I get to just talk shop and learn about comics. And so Jason, thanks so much, man. It's time for the tagline. That's what happens at the end of the show. This one's mine. Go do what's good for you, punks, and read some indie comics, because we are out of here.